effect plugin.
The biggest cheat code instrument plugin?
They call them.
People don't know about the.
In my family, they all joke. I go upstairs and work for 20 minutes at a time. We are near the end of the process of actually buying a house from it.
Yo, I'm taking this song down. Wait, please. Yo, what do you want?
You just have to shoot the shot at every moment.
I asked a wide variety of platinum producers for their networking, melody creation, and plugin secrets. And at the very end, I'm going to show you guys how to put some of it into action. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so first off, a lot of producers are completely lost and have no idea where to even start to get success. What advice do you have for those people?
I personally think that it's good to really build your brand. I started building my brand on YouTube, dropping sound kits, and then I got placement. I'm about to be on my 5th year of doing this every day. Putting more time and attention into yourself, you're going to get more results from that. Trying to prioritize what lane you really want to go in terms of like, you want to do a bunch of sessions. Are you going to be an engineer? Are you going to be somebody who goes around and does some sound design? You know, pick a lane and then figure out how you can get as much experience off of that. Ideally, it would be like real life events, putting up some bread to fly out. It can be one thing sitting at home and networking, another different thing in person.
Have you ever tried to calculate how many hours you think you got into this?
30, 40,000 hours. It's just the reps, bro, you know? And the 1%ers, they literally keep going. They keep working no matter where and how far they get. And they always try to outwork themselves from yesterday.
Yeah, that's dope. So when there's so much pressure to create the best stuff possible, how do you overcome those creative blocks?
In my family, they all joke. I go upstairs and work for 20 minutes at a time. Just rest the brain because I just don't want to force it. I want longevity. A lot of my placements have been, in my eyes, throwaways. That's just another like proof of like not to overthink things. Once I stopped overthinking things, I started focusing more on the music and what I like to hear, and everything became better for me.
It's mandatory to take those breaks because I understand people want to be in the studio. Yeah, I'm in the studio all the time. I'm on a break right now. Probably break for about a week.
I'm not really making beats to get plays. Always make music you enjoy. I know there are people who really enjoy just listening to new rap artists and be like, oh, let me make a beat for this guy. Let me make, you know, these types of beats. There's people who really fucking enjoy that, and more power to them.
I don't want to listen to no music. I might just come in my studio. I might watch TikTok for hours or some shit like that. Or you just gotta do what you love to do outside of the studio, outside of music. Like, I like to bowl, so I'll go bowl, go shoot basketball, stuff like that. You know, just enjoying life.
As soon as I start feeling like I need to do something, I stop doing it. If I ever have beat block, I'll literally just won't make anything for a week. Resend something old.
Don't make music specifically to make money. It's okay to like build a business around your music and to have that kind of mindset. But if you're just making music with the element of like, oh, what will make money and stuff like that, there's like not a good energy to that.
Honestly, I'll just do what I'm able. If I'm only able to make like one and I just want to do something else for the rest of the day, then I'm gonna just do it. But like, I might have some days where I just like crazy like then and I just made like a whole lot of stuff.
Man, you can't just fight it. That's so true. So how important is music theory when you're actually making music?
I use music theory every day. That's literally like, for me, music theory is how I make music. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to make music without music theory. Music theory is the language of music. In my opinion, it's the mathematics of making music. Granted, I don't think you need it. It's not necessary. And personally, I envy some people who don't understand music theory, but just go off of like vibe and feeling what sounds good to them. And I feel like those people can find sometimes more interesting ideas because they're not like bound to their understanding of theory.
So do you think drugs help at all with coming up with unique and creative things? Especially in the music industry, this is something we see a lot.
If you're using drugs as like a reliance to your creativity, but if your work ethic isn't like on 110%, I don't recommend that. I recommend to people to really like lock in their music creation process to a subconscious level, which usually means like sobriety to a degree, you know what I mean? People will like respect you because your work ethic is good, but they'll also know that you're a high idiot. And the moment anything changes, they're gonna be like, okay, well, fuck this high idiot. You know, I'm not somebody who's like, oh, don't do drugs. You know what I mean? Because like I do drugs sometimes. So that's my thing about drug use, you know?
Solid. All right, let's get more specific and take a journey. How do you actually network and get your foot into the door to begin getting paid, getting placements, and building a solid network?
I started to learn that you can make money off of like sending YouTubers loops. And if I'm honest with you, I was probably getting around like 5,000 to 8,000 every month. I used to send loops out weekly without any fail.
Email, Discord, Telegram. We'd be sending to people's numbers a lot. And sometimes in the DMs too. Like some people like their stuff in the DM. And yeah, content has definitely helped us a lot. Like a lot of people just hit us up saying like, yo, send this reel, send more like it. And TikTok too.
You just have to shoot your shot at every moment. Sometimes it's just the right time. And the tricky part is you kind of sort of don't know when the time is. You just have to shoot your shot. I might be on live 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Somebody might get on my live and say, hey man, I got loops. And I might say, send them to me or DM me.
Yeah, bro, it's kind of like crazy timing. And 𝕃𝕊𝔹𝕆 was on live, like cooking up beats. And I think we got in there like super early. Mike saw it. It was like, yo, we gotta send. So we like jumped on the computer super fast and like sent out what we were cooking up. We were just making like a bunch of guitar loops that day. Didn't really think much about it. And then like literally 2 years later, ATL like DM'd us like, yo, what's your number? I'm like, oh shit, something must be happening. And he called us and was like, yo, shit's coming out in like 2 days, song with Future. Like we gotta get paperwork, all this shit figured out.
I feel like I was making a couple of shitty loops and just throwing them in the pack. One of them happened to be Drug Addiction by NBA YoungBoy. Don't know how that happened. But yeah, no, to me that was a throwaway. It was literally like a 10-minute anyway, yeah, just naturally networking with producers around your following. Me and 𝕊𝕊𝔸𝕆 met in a live stream, messaged me one day saying Tory Lanez is recorded on the beat. This was the first time I ever thought that it would be possible for an artist of that level to be on something that I've made. We both posted the snippet on our Instagram. It got like 20,000 views of just people coming across my page saying that we got a snippet. I got a lot of like people hitting me up for guitar melodies and stuff then. It was definitely a way to get my foot in the door. And then now I fully make money just off of my placements. I can confirm today that we are well like near the end of the process of actually buying a house from it.
Man, big congrats to Lazy Beats, bro. That's what everybody dreams of. Yeah, it's really apparent that in the beginning you gotta put a lot of work in, but once you get that ball rolling, it's a lot easier from there. Let's jump straight into cheat code plugins.
Just like the best effect plugin. It's called a Moog multi-mode filter from UAD. I love it because you kind of get like hardware analog synth control over like any sound.
Bro, if you want like analog sounding stuff without buying a crazy synth, Des'Wright just dropped something called Freak 2. It's like super hard. And then Max Shooter has something called Evermotion. Those two together, bro, you don't need synths or pedals really. It's like, I'd say it's like 99.9% of the way there and for like a fraction of the price. Like it's super good stuff.
Teletone Audio is my favorite one. Everything else you see here, I have like a huge list, bro. I have days worth of contact banks that I've installed. So
Valhalla Shimmer, very interesting plugin. If you automate it and stuff.
Alkane by California Dynamic, and it emulates some really nice 1970s saturation.
Lush 2 is something that's some sauce. The Prince, every sound in there, bro, can just be a sample, like not even adding anything. Like you just fucking hit that shit and you got something.
Guy Keys 2, super fire.
This Beam by Lunacy Audio is really nice, kind of like Portal. Auto Chroma, this one's really nice. People don't really know about the Moog pedals like that, just like the real ones. I didn't even know they had real ones until the plugin. The real ones go for like 2 bands, but these are super cheap. They get that exact sound.
Yeah, and let's talk about real analog gear for a second, man. Is it like truly as good as they say? And you know, what would you recommend to somebody getting their first piece of hardware just to start that collection, you know?
I use hardware synths a lot.
Like if you want to have fun, get like a Chase Bliss pedal, Earthquaker devices, any of that's gonna be like under 500 and you're gonna get a really cool, unique sound. And then the Prophet 12 is low-key, that's the first synth we got, and that's like a lot of the synth sound that I feel like people think of from us is like definitely the Prophet 12. In terms of like sound and like easiness to use, like Juno 106 is sick. Sounds so good. We use the Moog Matriarch a good bit. It's a really good synth, but definitely more difficult to use.
So how about techniques on finding your own secret sauce? We've heard y'all's, you know, but let's hear about how you found it to begin with.
My sauce is, if you're a music producer, people are going to be running Facebook ads on you. What you need to do is if you see some sort of contact bank or a VST or a plugin, you need to go there and press interested. I want to see more. And there's going to be so many like upcoming starting companies that may just have like some fire.
Man, you'll definitely need to tap in with that. So, you know, to wrap this up, what's something that producers need to do more of in the industry?
I feel like nobody talks about the fact that like if somebody drops a song with your beat, it's copyright infringement. Money-wise, it's the best thing that can happen to you because you have all the leverage. Be like, yo, I'm taking this song fucking down. And then they'll be like, wait, please. If every second that the song comes down, they're not making money. So they're going to be like, yo, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? You could be like, yo, give me 10 bands right now. When you produce, there's so much money that's in like different pipelines that you have to like put together. Like, let's say I produce for Drake. The song will come out and they'll accept whatever dance from the label and then like just sit there, you know what I mean? First, a lot of people don't negotiate, or the label will be like, yo, sign this, or the song isn't coming out, and they'll sign it, and then like, you know what I mean? Then they won't get paid. The biggest financial mistake is just like really over prioritizing the label's interest, and also not getting your ASCAP or BMI in order, not getting your administration in order, you know what I mean?
Let's go ahead and jump straight into the second segment and break down some crazy stuff using unique techniques. I'm the type of guy who just kind of plays things by ear, and I would argue that most producers don't know music theory. If you're one of those producers, I'm going to show you right now how you can make stuff like this. I'm going to put you on some sauce. This piano right here, I'm sure you've seen it before, but man, it's too good, bro. It's a vintage upright close. Everybody been using this lately. It's like the new Noir Pure. So yeah. Alright, first off, there's a simple formula for this stuff, man. Start with your root notes. Then we're going to skip a white note right here and skip a white note right here. Turn these up an octave, and then we're going to put these back. Skip a white note, skip a white note. And then we're going to strum these ever so slightly. And then we're going to place one more note right here. We're going to take this note, turn up an octave, move it over. We're going to put it right here. Pitch it up, turn the velocity down. So now we got this. Move this over, move this over. All right, and we're going to just feel where it's going. I hear a run right here. And then we're going to do a big chord right here. Skip a white note, skip a white note, skip a white note. Turn this up. We're going to strum this a little bit too. See how it all just kind of connects? You know what I mean? Skip white notes again. Obviously, we're going to extend these notes some. Turn the velocity down. We're going to keep this very simple. And right here, we're going to carry these notes over just like this. It's a little bit thin. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy all these root notes down for sure. And then we're going to take these and then this note and paste it down. So these two are too close together. So we're going to delete that one. That should clear it up. So yeah, add some very low root notes all the way down here. All right, now we're going to copy all this over. Just a guitar rig for some reverb and then a compressor here. The secret is to really compress the hell out of your piano. It makes it sound a lot more vintage. Alright, let's have the original pattern back. What you're going to want to do is click this little button down here, go to the arrow, disc recording, and then render arm track, and you're going to get a little layer. Anyway, you're going to pitch that up, and then you're going to add a lot of reverb to it. Quite know where to go with it. I don't want to force anything. What we're gonna do is pull out some textures. This pack right here is super dope. Fine wind like this right here. What you're gonna want to do is take a very small piece of it, like that right there. Now you got this. Next I went in here and found a vocal loop, just like this right here. These are beautiful, bro. These are inside the Sounds Like Money. I'll be linking this in the description. I continue to go crazy with these packs. Resources like these are going to save you every single time as far as getting creative and being able to go like a really long time without having to quit or like leave because you have creative block. So beautiful, man. And then I added this bass in. This is the Ain Sounds Identity bass. When you're adding bass, you always want to aim to add movement. You should never just have a random bass just in there for no reason, just to have a bass for the sake of having a bass. You know what I mean? Don't put too many cuts everywhere. You know, you're going to totally ruin everything. Keep it simple. Flow with the music. You can see I have strategic cuts right here. Try to add that bounce with the bass that you add in. One more piece of sauce, man. Elastic Pitch V2 is one of the most brilliant pitch plugins I think I've ever seen. I mean, it's a lot better than Wave Sound Shifter, stuff like that. The reason it's so good is you can actually automate the pitch right here and the formant. So So the timbre right here, it's the same exact pitch, but it sounds deeper. The pitch is up and down right here, but I just move it side by side. It doesn't change the pitch, but it sounds like it does. So it's super dope for doing like an A/B section. So what I did was I set it to exactly -6, and then I just right clicked right here, create automation clip, and I turned it on for the second section. Yeah, you could go in here and manually pitch it down, but it doesn't sound anywhere near as good. So yeah, man, just stem this out and send it out. I use some really unique sample flip techniques here and some really unique processing that will also kind of help you beat 𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕆. Let's go ahead and play this. Okay, so let's start with the original. Everything boils down to the source sound. These multi-key bundles by Keon, bro, they're brilliant. They're my go-to all the time when I'm stuck. Basically, whenever you click, it plays a different sound. And like I said, I don't know music theory, so I'm going to walk you guys through how you can actually do this without that. So let's start from scratch. I just want to build a simple scale style melody. Alright, as you can see, I copied this over. Let's keep it super simple for the sake of being able to really flip it. Alright, next, I'm going to find another sound that I really like. I'm not worrying too much about sound design at the moment, so I found a piano. Pianos are really safe. They go with pretty much anything. What we're going to do is make a chord here. We're going to follow those notes right there. And then we're going to take the bottom one, copy it just like that, and then move it up. And then now, let's pitch it up. Alright, and here you can see I moved this top note over some, and then I just made one cut right there. This button right here on the master, hit the arrow, disc recording, and render ARM tracks to WAV file. Here's where the magic comes in. What you're gonna do is open the clip, right click, audio editor. And what you're gonna wanna do is click this little tape wheel, and you're gonna wanna just drag it. You're gonna add another Edison directly below that one. You're gonna wanna click record. Make sure it's set to on input. Do it again. You're going to want to wait till it plays out the entire thing, and then you're just going to drag it in. And then now what you're going to want to do is chop it up so you have something like this right here. Instantly reach for Shaperbox 3. I didn't do any of this stuff in here. Use the phase pluck preset. It's my go-to preset lately for turning pretty much anything into a really dope pluck melody, and then just turn off the drive because it sounds like shit. So now we got a flip going. I really didn't know where to take it from here. And that's normal, that's okay. That's why we have kits for that. One of the main points of this video was to practice not rushing, naturally reaching for different tools, and to even take a break if you absolutely need to, and just walk away. Sounds like Monty. He sent me over some dope packs to kind of play around with here. Tons of like super analog pedal type stuff. And my favorite part about this, bro, these are beautiful, man. I found these right here, chopped them up. This entire bundle is over 1,000 of these textures and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with using phrases at all, especially if you just want to bang out some melody, vibe out, and just have a good time while staying inspired. Alright, now finally, this melody needed some movement. So I grabbed a little bass preset from Ain Sounds, the goats, obviously. You could EQ the low out of your main sample and recreate the bass notes. So here's the new bass notes to add a lot of rhythm and a totally new vibe to the sample. Stem this thing out and send it out. So yeah, it pretty much brings the video to an end. If you guys enjoyed this video, this style of video, definitely let me know. Cash Money AP, Ronnie J, possibly Pyrex, a lot of big guys that I could get on here. And if you're the type of person that doesn't normally comment, if you were to leave a comment, it would mean so much to me. It really helps push the video out and boost it. So yeah, till next time.
Shut up, TRIFREEZE.